welcome back to my channel. Yeah, as you may know, if you had seen the last short I put up, I lost my best friend. He was my cousin, but also my bestest friend. And we lost him on the 31st of October. And that's why I've been away for such a while. I did upload a friend mail video, I think it's 2 weeks ago. So bear with the fact I'm in my night shirt, but it is at night, you know, so usual attire. It might look a bit scruffy, but it's not. It's just the colour's just a bit off now, because you know how whites and creams go. Anyway, so yeah, we lost him. My cousin had kidney failure, and he was on home dialysis. Previously to that, he survived, I think it was 15 years on a transplant, and then his kidney started to fail and he ended up back on dialysis, and he was on the unit for a few years. And then he found out about he could have dialysis at home, and that's what he did. And he had dialysis at home for about 8 years. And it gave him a good lease of life. Neil, you know, has known him for 15 years. Yeah, it gave him a good lease of life. And then his fistula arm. Now, if you're aware of a fistula, it's connecting, I think it's I'm not actually totally sure, it's connecting the arteries or something to make a channel so you can needle it, so your dialysis works that way. So you needle it and put the lines in and it goes through that. And it looked really big and lumpy, but that's what they look like. And on the morning, he said how much it hurt. So Neil said that, you know, you must get in contact with your care team and see what can happen. See what can be done. And so instead of just sitting there on the chair and phoning on his mobile, this is a very stupid thing. It goes running off. I mean, literally running off. I wasn't awake at the time. Neil told me this. And he got to the top of the stairs and he just plummeted. And then at that time, Neil came into me and told me. And he was just at the bottom of the stairs, all crumpled up, because his legs were right up the stairs and all that. You know, when you fall down the stairs, you don't fall gracefully. And he was conscious, but he didn't even know anyone was there with him. He could tell his eyes were glazed over. So Neil was already on the phone to the ambulance service. It didn't help that the call kept getting cut off. Not by them, it was just, we don't know, it just kept cutting off because Stuart had dabbled with the internet a couple of days before. So, yeah. Typical Stuart thing. Anyway, so he was laying at the bottom of the stairs and it cut off for the third time, and we just thought, well, we know the ambulance is on its way. I thought, we've got to move him because, you know, it's uncomfortable. So I know my first aid, so I know what I'm doing. So I got Neil to be down at the feet end, and I just gently got him and I talked to him and said, we're just going to move you, Stuart. And we moved him down and everything. And not long after that, the paramedics turned up. And they was just, he was conscious when they arrived. I'm pretty certain that he was conscious. And then at some point during that time, he must have just lost consciousness. And so they, and so they had to start CPR. And there they are doing the CPR and asking if he's got an RD what is it? A DNR, do not resuscitate. And we said, we don't know. He said he doesn't want to be, but nothing's written down. Nothing at all. And they said, well, we can't carry on if it's written down. It's not. So they was carrying on. During this time, I'd rang his brother, Stephen, and said, you must come home because you know, the ambulance is here, it's your brother. And he got back quickly. And so they was doing CPR for 28 minutes, and they said, if we carry on this too much longer and he does come round, the likelihood of it is he will be badly brain damaged, because the thing is with CPR is you can't continue it continuously, if you know what I mean, to get them back, because it can cause brain damage. And so he had to make the most difficult decision in his life and tell him to stop. So he did, and he didn't know what to do. He was obviously in complete, mess himself, because he didn't know what to do, and he'd just seen all this. And so, yeah, Stuart died. My heart is broken. Did you? I don't like crying at the best of times. I'm a bit weird. So, yeah, it's been so awful. My best friend, I've never lost a best friend before. It's so hard, especially when you live in the same house as them for quite some years, and it's just not here. I may not talk this out because all I'm going to do is cry. My heart is just, and it's broken. And one of the most things I hate now is mornings, because every morning I would be either in the computer room or downstairs, either way. And one of the things I miss the most is saying good morning. And I talked to my mum about that today. I said, well, it's Saturday when I'm filming this, so when you see it, I don't know. And I said, I miss saying good morning. And she says, but you can still say good morning. You can still say good morning if it makes you feel a little better. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm sat in there using a better computer, and the only reason I'm using a better computer is because he's gone. And that's not how I wanted that to be. So I'm using Stuart's computer, and every morning, because it's a sign in to get into it, because that's what Windows 10 and 11 want. And I know he's signing because I use his iPad for editing. And so his signing's the same on there, so I knew what it was. And so I can't see out of these. I don't know when I cleaned them last. And so his login's the same. And every morning when I put that computer on, there's his face, because he's got his, obviously his face as is when he comes up for a login, his face is on there, because it's like a thumbnail thing. Every morning there's his face. I haven't been able to look at it for the past week or a half, 2 weeks, 3, I don't know. Haven't been able to look at it because it just reminds me he's not here. So, yeah, got a better computer, but it's not the way I wanted it. So, the ambulance men obviously left because that was their job done, and the undertakers were on the way. We had to wait about 2 hours, and there was Stuart laying on the floor. But we did have that 2 hours to say goodbye. Me and Stuart believed in the afterlife and the spirit world, and that they do come back to see you. I mean, I'm not talking full on form as they are, but you know, little signs. And I remember saying to him, we both know this. We both believe this. We've both seen things that can't be explained as anything else. So if you can come back and show me a sign, please come back. And he has. Mainly meddling with the internet again. Internet kept going on and off on my phone so many times. He's still doing it a bit. And yeah, you can tell he's there. Call me bonkers if you like. If you don't believe in it, then that's fine. But we have just seen so many things that, you know, it can't be anything else. It can't be explained as anything else. So, yeah, we had a chance to say goodbye, and then the undertakers came and took him away. And then we had to, obviously we was grieving, and still are, and sort everything out. And now, you see, this room's got 2 single beds in. Now, me and Neil can't have a room of our own, so we share a single bed. Yeah, we do. But, you know, we've got used to that. And then Stuart was over there. And it was fine. When me and Stuart used to watch comedies and TV series, we was going through currently London's Burning. And now I have to finish that without him. I haven't been able to watch it at the minute because I just haven't. But yeah, we've watched various comedies and laugh and and the awful jokes he told him made no sense. Oh dear. But funny enough, the week before he went, he did tell me 2 jokes which were really good, and I remember just going, that's a good one. But yeah, I miss him here. I managed to convince myself somehow, but some nights that he was just having to stay in hospital because he got an infection or his fistula went a bit funny, you know, just to try and convince myself. But you can't do that forever. Yeah, I miss him there. 9 o'clock every night he'd come up. I miss him there. Watching comedies and stuff and just laughing and finding things really funny because we both had that same sense of humour, the same funny bone. He got me as well, you know. Not many people in life get me, but he got me. Probably not all the time, you know. Yeah, I'm just lost, to be honest. I am really, really lost. So, obviously you have to go to the undertaker to take him some clothes. Now this bit Neil smiled at, because he used to be a member and do a lot for the charity, the LKPA, which is the Leicester Kidney Care, I always get this wrong, Leicester Kidney Patients Association. I told you I'm terrible at that one. And he did a lot for them. And the thing is with Stuart, even though he had really ill health and was poorly, and some days he just, you know, didn't want to do anything and he couldn't do anything. And that was the main reason for changing his dialysis time to evenings, because he had more of a get up and go when he got up in the morning, and he could sit at the computer and stuff. rather than when he'd been on dialysis wanting to do all that but couldn't. So that's why the times got switched around. So yeah, he was a member of the charity, and so we got the funeral. Well, Stephen got the funeral organised, and we had the funeral on Wednesday. And immediately as that car turned up with him in there, I just broke. And then when I got to Gilrose, which is just outside of Glenfield here in Leicestershire, and then we got out the car and I seen his mum, and I just threw my arms around her and cried. As soon as I seen Neil's mum, that's what I meant. So as soon as I saw her, you know. So we went, and it was actually a nice send-off. And I'd written something, a eulogy. Now I've got my head around that word because, my goodness, I could not. So I wrote something for him. Just wrote something. And I had a poem on there as well. Now, I'm not going to read the poem because I'm going to be bawling again. And I didn't read this out. The guy that did the service, because it was a non-religious service, because he wasn't religious. And he read it out for me. And yeah, it was a nice service. And then we went to Heathley Park, which is a pub and also restaurant, and we had a wake there. They organised wakes and all sorts in their function rooms, and it was a very nicely done job. Food was nice. We brought a lot of it back with us. Still got a bit left, which I'm eating through. Yeah, and it was a very nice wake. And they say after funerals that you feel better. And I did with Angela's, my cousin's, which was Stuart's sister. It sort of gives you closure, but with this one, it's not feeling better. It's just not. This one has hit me like a ton of bricks. I've lost my best pal. And it's so hard. It's so difficult. I don't like mornings, and I hate the world for this. I hate the world for taking him. I'll open the curtains, and excuse the swear word, but I'll open the curtains, I'll say, morning shit face. Or something similar. Not happy with the world at all. Yeah, 55 years of age. That's all he had. 55 years. Which is actually good for a dialysis patient, to be honest. But, yeah. Anyway, we had the, what do you call the girls that do the autopsies? It's gone. He did that, and he got back to Stephen and said it was an ischemic, I think it's pronounced ischemic heart condition that he had, along with renal failure. So his arteries blocked. That's what happened. So yeah, life is difficult. We don't know what we're going to do for money. So if you're thinking, oh, you've set up a GoFundMe page and it's for money for you, believe me, every penny helps right now, because we don't know what we're doing. The carers allowance obviously stopped because, of course, I'm not caring for the person anymore. So we don't know what we're going to do to survive. We don't know where we're going to live if we're moving. We don't know what we're doing. We don't, and it is so scary. I will lay here sometimes at night and it will go round and round and round in my head. What we're going to do, what we're going to do, what we're going to do. But Stephen has said he'll give us time. I still don't know what he expects to come out of that, because to be fair, we have no clue. So if you can go over to my GoFundMe page, which will be linked in the description. I'm sorry I've done it twice in my discussion page. I'm sorry if it irritates you, but we are that close to being either here or on the street. That close. And when it comes to that close, that is scary. Nobody wants to be homeless. Nobody wants to be out in the streets. Nobody wants that. And especially this time of year. Neil has been homeless a few times, and you know, he has told me some horror stories. He wouldn't let me do it. But, you know, where he goes, I go. It's my life. It's all I've got. Well, I've got my mum, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, and I can't move in with my mum. Because, one, she'll drive me insane, and I'm not going back to that. It's okay for a couple of hours in the week, a few times, but I'm not living with her. And I can't, because I mean, I love her to death, but you know, there is a point. And I can't, because one of the conditions that she gets the carers and doesn't pay for them is that I don't live there. So, you know, I've got no chance. So that's going round and round in my head. It's just suddenly stopped a bit. But I have to take my mind off it. Although Heather's been very good at that. So thank you, love. You don't know how much you mean to me, and you don't know how much that is meant to just take my mind off it, even though we are talking about silly stuff. But, you know, it works. So, yeah, we don't know. So, please, you know, if you can donate, then, you know what? Doesn't have to be huge amounts. It does not. £5 will buy us a loaf of bread, tin of beans, some cheap store spread, you know, things like that, a few pints of milk, that kind of thing. And we are really that flipping down at the minute, and we don't know what we're doing. We just don't. We just want to get by blinking Christmas, because right now Christmas can go and do one. It really can. I've just suddenly in the last few years started to enjoy Christmas again, and now it's done this to me. So Christmas can go away forever, because I don't want it. So I'm sorry if it's not going to be decorated with my videos, because quite frankly, if I see any Christmas decorations, I'm likely to throw them out the window. Not me gonk. Not me gonk. But yeah. And now Halloween's fucked for me, because I loved Halloween, and now all I'm going to remember is Stuart Day. That's wonderful. Not his fault, really. He didn't want to go. So yeah, that's what's been happening. But I haven't had the love for YouTube either. And I've had makeup on because it's just something to do. I've actually washed it off tonight before 9 o'clock, because usually I'll put makeup on and it's on till gone 12. My skincare's been getting the basic, although tonight I went in with the facial oil and used the gua sha. I have no clue what I'm doing. So if you can help me there, please tell me in the description. Not in the description, in the comment section. Please tell me, because I have no clue. I'm doing all this stuff, and is it up, is it down, is it over there? I've no clue what I'm doing. Not at all. Anyway, so I went in with that, and I've done my skincare properly tonight, and I actually went downstairs to wash my face rather than use the micellar water. So, yeah, makeup's actually done at a decent time tonight. Well, my skincare is done at a decent time tonight. Yeah, I've not had any love for YouTube. And the colourful makeup looks I do. Not had any love for them either. I've just gone in neutral. But I have been using some palettes, which I've not used in a while, and quite enjoying them and seeing which ones I like. So that's been good. But yeah, I've just not got any love. But I am going to come back to YouTube because Stuart knew how much I loved doing this. How much I loved doing this. And so he wouldn't want me to stop. He just wouldn't. And I don't want to. As this video goes out... oh, excuse me. As this video is being filmed, rather, I stand at 306 subscribers, which is shocking. I always think things like that. Why me? Anyway, thank you so much. That means a lot to me, so much. You probably subscribed and then thought, well, there's no videos going out, but this is the reason why. I've lost the thread again. Yeah, I am coming back to YouTube, and I'm going to carry on with my channel next week. Fingers crossed, because the love for it just gone. But tonight I just thought I'll watch The Jungle later. You know, the I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. And gutted that Boy George got voted out. Anyway, so I'll watch that later on the catch up. And it's actually recorded on the Virgin box. And I'll watch that later because I feel like talking to you. Even though right now I'm just talking to myself to a camera, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to tell you where I've been and all of that going on. So, quite a lot to take on in your head. And I have no clue how Stephen is feeling in his head. Because he must be going through hell in there. It must be all the time going round. I don't know why he's going to do it. Honestly, I don't. So we have to look after each other. That's what you do. And it was Neil's best mate as well. So, you know, he's going through it. Really going through it. So... yeah, that's where I've been. I am coming back. I think the first video I'm going to come back with is the empties, because I've got a huge amount of empties now. And yeah, so I'm coming back. I need something to do. I need something to edit. I need to take my mind off stuff. And I don't want to give this up because Stuart knew how much I loved it and he wouldn't want me to, and I don't want to either. Hopefully I don't have to. And, see, I've run out of things to say. My head isn't, you know, my head doesn't do the right thing most of the time. It doesn't. I have menopause fog most of the time, so with this going on as well, it's just gone. So, yes, I'm coming back. That's all you need to know, really, isn't it? Me waffling on trying to find words just when that will do. So, yeah, and I know what I wanted to say. That night, I think it was 2 or 3 days after his death, and I suddenly noticed that I got a notification, I got an email from YouTube saying he got a new feature. So I went to have a look, And I just went, yay! Because I got the discussion page. I have been waiting for that for so long. So I did go, woo! And then I just cried a bit because Stuart knew how much I wanted that. He knew how much I wanted that discussion. Not discussion page, discussion tab. Ooh, so, yeah. So I'm coming back. I'm going to go now because this is 31 minutes long. So, yeah, and I've not got anything else to say. And, yeah, I will see you on a usual video, which will be my empties one very soon. Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves and look after each other. You don't know how long you have on this earth. You really don't. And if anything makes you think that more is when you lose someone. So take care of each other. I will see you again next time. Please do all the good stuff. It really does help out my channel. And yeah, I will see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.